What does gaslighting mean? Excerpt from CR 915.
It was just a draft that I threw away again. Something about gaslighting I wrote, but in my opinion it is not.
I understand, but I am interested. Besides, what does gaslighting mean? I do not know that word.
It is a term that comes from psychology, and actually refers to the kind of psychological manipulation whereby the human being is deliberately made disorientated, in such a way that he becomes completely insecure and loses his sense of reality, which damages his self-confidence and allows him to be manipulated because his clear thinking is gradually adversely affected because he increasingly begins to believe what he is constantly being indoctrinated with and allows himself to be beaten down as a result.
I'm interested in that.
If you mean, then just the following. For my part, I reject any form of evil gaslighting, because this is a deliberate distortion of a person's own perceptions, to whose unsettling of their own mind and memory every truth is twisted and everything is constantly set right towards them with lies and deceit. In this way, because the person only believes and does not think, decide and act independently and truthfully, an extremely wildly distorted perception of reality and a belief is sought and also effectively induced, whereby ultimately absolute and complete might is gained over the person concerned, and everything he or she is taught is taken at face value and believed. The person in question is then irrevocably under the thumb of the manipulative, indoctrinating, shabby and unscrupulous human being in question, who exercises his might in every degenerate and evil wise of his character and dominates the fellow human beings who have been made submissive to him. As gaslighting relates to one person or to several persons, so the principle arises likewise. In likewise wise, with regard to any influence centered on a religious or secular belief in any form, consequently, it is actually the same as comes about in the seizure of power over a person. A belief is always based on gaslighting or indoctrination, regardless of whether it comes about in the wise of an organized religion or sect, or in a secular sense, or also in whatever way, such as an opinion, a bondage, a compulsion, or as a result of a spiritualistic belief. It is and remains a belief. In most cases, gaslighting takes place through upbringing, as parents, siblings and relatives, etc., already harass and indoctrinate the growing toddlers, and thus imperceptibly practice a nasty and lousy form of gaslighting. And over time, the child falls into an instilled belief from which it is also hardly able to free itself in adulthood. It should be said that a belief always remains a belief if it is not discarded as a result of reason, be it a belief in miracles, a belief in salvation, a belief in history, a belief in ethics, a belief in science, a belief in narrative, a belief in rituals, a belief in systems, a belief in demons, a belief in culture, etc., etc. 1. Is mainly faith in religious form, that is to say fiduciary faith, which refers to the fact that human beings are persuaded to place their personal trust in an imaginary God, who is believed in and worshipped as a savior and not just as a revealer, thereby completely and utterly abandoning any personal independence of their own weal and woe, and hopefully placing this in the will of God. 2 is the intellectualistic faith, which stands as agreement to allegedly revealed truths, whereby the revealed cannot be proven as effective truth in every case, and often only corresponds to a momentary or present truth. This is because everything is evolutionary, and therefore always continues, and sooner or later brings absolutely new insights or new truths. 3 is the performative or linguistic belief, which is carried out or concretized by the speech actor speech and the non-subsequent action. That is to say that what was said is not done, which means that as a result of the speech only a belief arises, which proves to be a belief and a lie due to the concrete decision moment of not immediately putting everything into practice. It is therefore insincere and intended to impress and prove to someone through a belief in lies that something is supposed to be true that is actually a lie and a fraud, as is the case today with government reports that are mendaciously published on social media, because the people should not learn the truth about the many crooked, harmful and idiotic things that are being done. The attentive human being, however, will notice from the way people speak when something is contrived and performative, they will notice the lie and have the feeling that what is being said is not meant seriously and corresponds to a lie. Unfortunately, however, only an absolutely small minority of the minority of humanity is educated in such a way that it really perceives the effective truth, is not somehow addicted to a belief, but really only absolutely self-thinking and absolutely attaches all value to unbelief. The truth is that around 92% of the Earth's population are believers according to Plejaren research, with the vast majority of them belonging to the 12 classical religions, namely Christianity in first place, with Roman Catholicism coming before Protestantism. The second largest religion is Islam, while Hinduism comes in third place. Baha'i, Buddhism, Confucianism, Jainism, Judaism, Shintoism, Sikhism, Taoism, and Zoroastrianism are the other major religions, although there are countless sects and variations of all of them. These have a wide variety of beliefs, including spiritualism and devil worshippers, etc., with some very strange forms.